Hi, my name's Chris Johnson and I'd like to tell you about a book that I've just written. It's called Guitar, The Australian Journey, just recently published by Borrelia Books, and the book is about exactly what the title of the book says, the Australian embracement of the guitar and how we have really taken the guitar to be our own. The reason I wrote the book is, well, basically I love the guitars. I have my whole life. Love playing them, love looking at them, love listening to guitars. And I love reading about guitars and about the history of the guitar. And I've read a lot of histories and came to the realisation that there's a little gap in the histories that have been told about the guitar, and that is the history of the guitar in Australia. Now, this is not meant to be a definitive history by any means. It's more a celebration of the instrument. I do delve into the early days of making the first guitars that we made in Australia, right up into contemporary times. But I talk to a lot of guitar players, some very well-known players, Tommy Emmanuel, Phil Emmanuel, in the classical world, Karen Sharp, Slava Gregorian, in the blues world, players like Fiona Boyes, Jeff Lang. Jeff Lang actually wrote a foreword in the beginning of the book for me, beautiful foreword he wrote for me. But there's a lot of players that I talk to throughout the book and get their views on what the guitar means to them, why they love playing it so much, and the styles of music, the types of guitars they play. But the other part of the book, a big part of the book, is talking to guitar makers, and I go into quite a lot of detail about how we have made guitars in Australia and how we've perhaps made them a little different. A good example is this guitar behind me. That's a Maton from the 60s. Looks very much like a particular Gibson model, but you look closely and it has its own unique attributes there. The tailpiece, the headstock, lets you know that it's a Maton, lets you know that it's Australian. And that is part of the involvement of the guitar here in Australia, is that we did things our own way to the point where today we are making world-class instruments, and have been doing so for quite some time. I mean, when we first started making guitars, we weren't making them anywhere near as good as the Americans were. But today we are making them as good as anybody else in the world and exporting our guitars and our players right around the world. We have some wonderful players, some wonderful luthiers, makers, and that's what the book's about, really celebrating that. The guitar began, the histories that we read about how the Baroque beginnings, and then how all of Europe embraced it, and then how America made the guitar their own. Well, this story is about how we made it our own as well. How Australians have really taken to the guitar, and how it's played a very prominent role in all of the genres of music, from folk through to country, classical, rock and roll, jazz, and I explore all of these genres and talk to players in all of these genres, and really try to explain how it has played a key role. In the book, also at the back of the book, there's an audio CD. There's 19 tracks on there, and some are from very high-profile players like Jeff Lang and Karen Sharp and Phil Emmanuel, and I've tried to get quite a few of the genres, sort of examples of them there in the CD. Part of the book also has what I call the skeleton of the book. It recounts the making of this guitar. This is a guitar made by a beautiful luthier in Melbourne, Jack Spearer. He's in the Dandenongs, and I travelled to his workshop on a number of occasions and observed him make this guitar especially for me, and he was kind enough to let me really watch everything he did and retell the story. And there's a story about the guitar, about all the little components of it. This dragonfly here on the 12th fret has its own little story as to why that was there, why that was included. The woods, pretty much they're all Australian timbers on this guitar. So I explain all this in the book and go into great detail. I love the final product, but having met and interviewed many luthiers around the country, I came to the realisation that I would have loved a guitar from any one of them. We have some incredible guitar makers in our country, and we should celebrate that. And that's what I'm trying to do in the book, celebrate the fact that we have great guitars, great players. And look, I do break up some of the interviews and some of the histories with little snippets from my own journey of the guitar. and I do that because, having spoken a lot with my guitar mates, I came to the realisation that we all shared similar experiences with the guitar. So I'm hoping that some of my little funny stories and such, people can relate to them themselves and think, yeah, that's kind of happened to me. So that's what the book's about. It's, like I say, a celebration, and I hope that it makes you want to play the guitar more, appreciate it more, and just enjoy it. So Guitar, The Australian Journey by Beralia Books. You can check it out on our website, www.guitartheaustralianjourney.com. $39.50 with CD. Great value. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks a lot.